Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Spice, your love and sex empowerment coach for strong, successful women. And I am the creator of Love Cleansing, which is a program specifically designed for strong and successful women who want to really delve deep and take a deep look at their patterns around love, relationships, intimacy, dating, and see how we can change those patterns and we can do things in a deeper, better, more successful way. So I'll be talking about that a little bit more as we get further along in this live, but I just wanted to start off with some housekeeping before we get started. Today's video is going to be about the 5 immediately attainable things that you can bring into your daily life to have more love in this holiday season. Because let's face it, the holidays are really tough. Even though it's kind of a situation where you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be happy and joyful, and there's a lot of parties and there's a lot of opportunities to see people and catch up. It's a fun thing. There's also a sense of sadness, and it brings up a lot of stuff for a lot of people. Also, depending on where you're at in the world, it can be kind of cold. And I think that even that just sort of makes people feel depressed, right? I mean, I know it does for me. So if you're joining us, I would love it if you say hi, or if you don't feel like saying hi, if that's too much work, which I understand, you could just give a like or a love, or, even give an angry face, like, oh my God, Spice is making me so angry right now, or Spice is making me sad. But whatever it is, I would love to just know that you're here, because a lot of times if you don't say anything, or if you don't respond or react in any way, then I'll just never know. And then I'll be so sad being like, but all these people saw my video and I don't even know who they are, so I can't even say anything to them. So I would so appreciate that if you would say hello or just give some kind of reaction. So before we get started, I just want to say a couple words of housekeeping, a couple things. I just wanted to remind you that my website is lovecleansing.com, and there you can go and you can find out all about what I'm doing. I have a program starting at the end of January for strong, successful women who want to up-level their experiences in love and intimacy and find the dream partner that they've been looking for. So that's pretty exciting. The other thing is that, so starting next week, I have some pretty exciting things happening. On Tuesday, I'm going to be starting my weekly Spyce advice column. And so basically, this is an opportunity for you to send me a message and tell me your question. And then on Tuesdays, I'll be answering all of those questions. May not be answering all of them, but I'll pick a couple each week, and then we will go over those. You can either be anonymous, or you can even be on the live when I'm doing it, and we can talk in real time about it. But it just depends on what you like. So that's going to be every Tuesday starting next week at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 8 o'clock for you people on the East Coast, all my fans on the East Coast. The other thing is that this particular live that I'm doing at noon is going to also be changing. It's going to be starting at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Thursdays. It's going to be Spice's Love Lessons, and we're going to be going deep into different topics. Today, and what I've been doing is sort of skimming over five big things, but I think we're probably going to go more into depth about maybe 1 or 2 of the things. And then, of course, there's always an opportunity to meet up with me later and to go deeper with me. I'm always available to hop on a call with anybody who wants to talk with me about how we can go deeper into an experience together, and find out more about what I'm doing in the world and how we can connect. So thank you all for being here. I see a lot of nice friends have joined our broadcast. I can't say hello to all of you right now because then I would just get too overwhelmed. But thank you all for being here. And I see that somebody did do a sad face. I'm sad too. I mean, hey, why can't we all just be together in one big room, right? But it is what it is. So without further ado, I'm going to go into the 5 immediately attainable ways that you can have more love in your daily life in this holiday season, because that's important. So number 1 is about starting that daily habit that you've been talking about. So, we all say that we're going to do this or that. We're going to exercise more. We're going to we're gonna do more yoga, we're gonna drink more water, we're gonna like do all of these things for ourselves to start these daily habits, but we really, really don't. And it all starts with self-love and self-care. So if we want to create more love in our lives, we have to start with numero uno, right? Number one, because you can't really truly share love with anybody else if you don't have it for yourself. And you have to feel it for yourself. You got to be like, oh my God, I'm so fabulous. And of course I would want to spend time with me. So who wouldn't want to spend time with me? Everybody else does, so I need to do it too. So in order to get to that point where you truly love yourself so much that you see yourself as this amazing being who deserves only the best, you have to prove your love to yourself with some high quality self-care. Right? So even if we're good at giving love, sometimes we may not always be good at giving love to the number one person that we should be, which is ourselves. And that can really show up in our self-care practices. So you have to commit to giving to yourself even better than you give to other people, because that can be really, really hard to do. A lot of times we're like, oh yeah, I would never be that way to somebody else, but yeah, you can treat yourself like shit, right? But no. That has to stop now. So you have to not stop with yourself until you get enough and more and more and more, and don't stop creating more love for yourself. And with that, you will definitely create more love in your daily life if you just start that daily practice and you keep going with it, right? So some of the things you can do is start a morning ritual. You can take on an exercise habit. You can drink more water. You can eat healthy. These are things that are maybe hard to do in the holiday season, but they're things that are definitely very, very useful. So number 2, focus on what you have. Sometimes when you're feeling sad or lonely without love, it can be hard to come out of our own experience and see all the good that we do have in our lives. We focus on what we don't have and maybe on what others have, and we feel so sad about all the missed opportunities and the lost love and the unclear communication and the sticky situations that we've gotten ourselves into that went awry. So sure, you could sit around and rehash the sad past forever, but come on, do you really have time to do that? I don't think you do. So it's so much better. We have to just take a look at the place where we are and just enjoy it and just appreciate that and be happy. And so how do you do that? How can you just focus on what you have and be happy for what you have? The number one way to do it is to practice. Everything, all of these things are practice. There's something that you can do every single day. Now look, for me, it's not easy to do something every single day. I'm a double Gemini. I want to do this, and then tomorrow I want to do that, and then 5 minutes later I want to do this. And I go based on the inspiration of what I feel in the moment. But what I've learned so much is that all of these things, it's about creating a practice. It's about every day doing something. So even if you just get into the habit of every single day focusing a little bit on what you have and really seeing the beauty of the world around you and really loving yourself for creating exactly what you've created for yourself and appreciating life for the gift that it is, that is going to help you. It's going to help you to move forward. And, okay, it's not always going to be easy. And, sometimes things happen. But if you can do that, just here and there, try to do it every day. Try to do it for 5 minutes a day. Just sit down and really focus on what you have. I assure you it's going to help you feel better, and that's going to create just a little bit more feeling of love in your daily life. So, take inventory of the things in your life that you love. Even maybe start a gratitude jar or a gratitude journal. Those things are really cool. I think I'm going to do that in the new year. The gratitude jar, you put every day you put something you're grateful for, and then at the end of the year, like right now where you're sitting around the holidays feeling like crap, you can just take them out and look at them and be like, oh my God, that's so amazing. So those are some good things that are really good to do around this time of year. I know I'm talking really fast, but I want to be able to get through as much of this as possible. And I haven't even drank coffee, so, I guess it's just natural. Number 3, put yourself out there. So you might be like, well, what do you mean by that? How is that going to create more love in my daily life? But when we're feeling sad or we're lacking in love, it can be easy to isolate and feel unlovable. And the more we stay within this lonely cocoon, the easier it is for us to convince ourselves that there's just no love out there for us and the world is a bleak and gray place, especially around the holidays when everybody's supposed to be happy and you may be in a climate where everything's actually bleak and gray outside too. But once we start putting ourselves out there again and opening our eyes to the sunlight, we may just be amazed with how the world responds. You know how they say when you start dating somebody new, everyone sees it and is suddenly interested in you, and before it was crickets? Well, that's exactly how it works. So when you're feeling good and exuding confidence, others will be drawn to you. The universe truly does reward actions. And when you start putting yourself out in the world and doing something just a little bit different, the world and most people in it will start noticing. And you never know what experience is right around the corner. So put yourself out there a little bit more. Now's the time of year where there are a lot of things going on. So just go out more. When people invite you to something, say yes. It's important to keep saying yes and keep going out on a limb, even if sometimes that limb feels shaky and like it can break at any time. Because you know what? It doesn't really matter. You have to just put yourself out there and keep doing these things, and eventually the universe is going to reward you. And even if you fall and come tumbling down, you are going to get up again, you're going to rise again, and you're going to be that much better for the experience. So put yourself out there. Here's a couple ways you can do that. You can just reach out to a new friend, to an old friend. Those people that you say, oh my gosh, we should totally have lunch. Totally just have lunch. Talk more with people. Talk more with people on the street, in the grocery store. You never know. In today's world, we're all like stuck with our heads in our phones, and we never even like relate to each other. But sometimes when you just like start talking to people out in the world, you never know. I've met people, and there's so many people that say, how did you meet your partner? I met him in line at the grocery store. I met him randomly at a party. You know what? That happens. And you know why that happens? Because if you put yourself out there, the universe is going to see that, and it's going to reward you. So number 4, be open to receiving love. So like I said before, while we might be very good at giving love, we may not always be as good at receiving love for a variety of reasons. Maybe we feel like we don't need it. After all, we're strong and capable women, right? We're fine without it. Or we feel like it's weak to ask for it because we're used to being the strong one for others all the time. So how can we just go out there and ask for love? And since we're powerful, we don't want to feel like we're forcing anybody to give us love. So we act aloof, and no one ever even knows that we want it. And then many times we're just afraid that if we do let go and open up to love, it'll suck us in whole and spit us out like it's done before. So we don't want to even get started on sliding down that slippery slope. So we keep our heart closed as tightly as possible. And if we ever start to feel anything that seems like it could be love, we slam the door shut and run away. And I know this is a scary thing, and I know that we've all been hurt before, but if we never make any changes, nothing's ever going to change. And so we have to take that first step to be open to love. We have to take that first step to being open to receiving love. And so how we do that is that we really look at how we're showing love to ourselves. We need to examine how well we treat ourselves and how we're giving ourselves the most loving experience as possible. So, because the thing is, if we can't show love to ourselves, how can we even say that we know what love is? And how can we know what it looks like when it does show up if we've never seen it before and we've never really experienced that? So in order to know that love and not have it be a stranger, we need to meet it and not be afraid of it. We need to treat love like an old friend that we're comfortable with, or with a new friend or super hot person that we're like dying to meet, right? And so then we eventually know love a little bit and we feel a little comfortable inviting love into our lives. We can embrace the idea of having this energy in our lives, and we can really start meditate on bringing it into our lives and then taking the action steps to get there. So some ideas for how you can be open to receiving love is, just like Madonna said, open your heart. She like chased that 12-year-old boy around in the video, and it was kind of creepy and weird, but looking back, and it was creepy and weird at the time. We're like, oh my God, so cool, but it was a little creepy because he was 12 and she was like, 30 or something. But anyway, it was all about opening your heart to love, and don't being afraid of intimacy. Let people in, let them see the true you. Something that I like to do is when I go out to events and when there's time for people to share, or even when you're just like talking to somebody, just be true about what's going on. When somebody says, hey, how are you? Say to them, well, you know what? Things aren't going that great. And then just tell them the truth, because that's something that people are going to appreciate, and they're going to see as a strength, not as a vulnerability. Anyone who sees it as a vulnerability, they can screw off, because it's really not. Another way to put yourself out there is to surrender and let go of control. If you know that nothing is permanent and everything has the potential for good and for evil, to go amazingly or to go really bad, and just know that we're not in control of any of it, it actually allows you to feel more open to putting yourself out there. Analyzing, but don't judge your feelings too much. Just kind of let things go. And there's many other ways, but we have to move on for right now. So number 5. This is number 5 of the 5 immediately attainable ways you can have more love in your daily life this holiday season. Number 5. See, I've had a cold this holiday season, which a lot of us have too. Commit to doing the inner work. So oftentimes when we are stuck in love, lost in love, sad in love, questing in love, and constantly searching, it's because there are other things inside of us that are stuck, lost, sad, questing, and searching for answers themselves. And it's always easier for us to find reasons outside of ourselves for why we don't have the love that we want in the world, and why there's somebody else who's not giving this, or somebody else, the guys are jerks, and all of these kinds of things. But the real truth is that we could spend forever pointing fingers at other people and situations and experiences that are making us not have the things that we want, or we can look deep within ourselves and say, what is it that I am doing to not allow these things that I want to have in my life? Of course, we don't want to blame ourselves or make our experiences wrong, but we do need to love ourselves enough in order to give ourselves the opportunity to not stay stuck in the same old place and to see what's really going on inside of us. So in order to receive more love in your life, you have to be willing to examine your fears, address your old wounds that are still hurting inside of you, and be willing to change the patterns that you've developed to deal with the ways that you've been hurt and you haven't healed from, especially if those patterns are no longer serving you, which 90% of the time they are not. So in order to have more love in your daily life, you will need to face what is getting in the way of creating more love in your daily life. And you have to be willing to really take a deep look at that. You have to be willing to open your heart and mind, and without judgment, without making yourself feel wrong or bad, just allowing yourself to look at, these are the patterns that I've created. I created these patterns because at the time I had no other choice, and these are what was keeping me safe. But now I can be safe in other ways, and now I can let go, and now I can make different choices. And if I make different choices, I can do things differently. And so this comes back to the same thing that I always talk about, that I will drill into every single thing that I say, which is you have to do the work. And doing the work comes down to really looking in a deep way at what is getting in the way, because you have the power. You are the one who is getting in your way. It doesn't matter where you're going, what you're doing. If you are not ready for love, if you have not worked through the things inside of you that are keeping you doing the same exact things every single time you meet somebody, nothing is going to change. So what I'm doing right now is I'm very excited because I have developed something, and I'm developing an opportunity for us to go deep within this work and to really look at what it is, the things that are getting in the way of us having the deep love that we want. And what is it that you can do to really create the experience so you can have that love, and you can have that life-affirming opportunity and relationship. So I was recently at an event where there was a woman there who was talking about she just met the love of her life. Well, she met him last year, and they're getting married. They're moving in together. And she said, now that I have this love, I feel so stable that I can move forward in so many other areas of my life. And that's what I want for you. I want for all of you to be able to feel like you have this strong foundation of love. So that way you can move forward and you can have the things that you want in life. So to that end, I've created a program called Love Cleansing. This program is going to start at the end of January, and it's specifically designed for strong, successful women who want to really examine their patterns around love and intimacy and relationships, and how those patterns are getting in the way of you having the love that you want to have in your life. Love, support, and clarity, and all those things that come with a healthy, sustainable, right kind of love. The kind of love that will make you feel better about yourself, not the kind of love that you have to run away from, or that you have to shrink from, or that you have to hide from, but the true kind of love where you can really be your best self. And so this program will be starting the end of January, and it's only going to be open for a certain amount of women because I want to have create a tight container for all of us to be together. And so I would love to speak with you if you feel like if you feel like this program is something that would work for you. You can reach me. Go on my website, lovecleansing.com, and you can see all about the opportunity and how we can work together. And then if you have any questions whatsoever, you can hop on a call with me and we can talk about your particular situation and how love cleansing can work for you. In the meantime, please feel free to connect with me further here. Join the Facebook group if you're not on it already. The link is in the title of this, in the description. You can also find me through my website, like I said, lovecleansing.com. You can find me all over Facebook and all over social media as lovecleansing.com. And I will be back here on Tuesday at 5 o'clock and next Thursday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And I look forward to connecting with you then. And I look forward to connecting with you now. And I look forward to just connecting with you in general. And I'd love to hear about how you have taken any of these things that I've said to heart and how you have incorporated any of them into your life to create more love and clarity and support in your daily life. And also, just one other thing, if you're in the Bay Area and you want to come see me tonight, which is Thursday, December 13th, I'm actually I'm part of a collective of women who are doing workshops on love and intimacy, and we have our kickoff launch party tonight at in Oakland by Lake Merritt. So if you are in the area and you know where that is and you want to come to our event 7 to 10, it's a free launch party so you can hear about all the workshops that we're planning for 2019. So I'm really excited for 2019. We have a lot of great stuff going on. Once again, if you're here watching, I would love if you say hello or if you give a like or a love or even a sad face because you're sad that I'm not there with you, or even if you're angry and you're like, oh my God. So whatever it is that you feel, all feelings are valid. I see that there's a lot of you that have joined and a lot of you that are watching. And I don't see as many likes or as many highs. So I would love to just know if you were here, then that way I can give you kisses. Anyway, this is Spyce, Love and Sex Empowerment Coach for Strong, Successful Women, signing off on another lovely day. Bye.